What are the different practice areas your law firm handles? I mean, the range. What do you guys do?
We're litigators. So I do the employment law. So it's counseling and advice as well as the litigation. So in essence, in court. Robert does products liability, like you talked about, defense for a tobacco company or commercial litigation. He also does. And Jay does commercial litigation. So any business dispute.
Really?
With a real focus, he's become, unfortunately, an expert in like shareholder disputes.
This is Jay.
This is Jay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about things like a business with 2 or 3 owners and they all are having a falling out and they're fighting. And then what do you do? And then like, how does that, what they call basically the business divorce.
Yeah.
You know, and those are pretty nasty and highly contentious cases.
A lot of times they end up going into litigation.
Oh, a lot of them do go to litigation, you know, because you're talking about, like I said, they're like a business divorce and the feelings are very personal. And money's at stake and it's understandable. People just don't want to budge. And so sometimes you need to go into litigation to get it sorted out.
But people, especially like business owners, right? They should know, at least for me, like obviously litigation is probably the last thing that you want,
100%,
right?
100%.
And that's why reaching out to a person like you ahead of time, because like I always reach out. I want to make sure, hey, are we on the up and up? Is everything in order? Or is it, you know, are we protected or is the employee protected? These are things that I think people should know. They should reach out to you as an employment lawyer before they get to the litigation.
Right.
Is, hey, have you do like an audit, look through the stuff, look through the policies and procedures, make sure things aren't, you know, out of the ordinary. Or if they're having an issue with an employee or whoever, reach out ahead of time before they make decisions and send an email or send this out or have a meeting with the person, you know, like talk to you first.
You're preaching to the choir. I wish you were that way. I would say 90% of my work comes the other way where it's in litigation. I love it if I get the call ahead of time because then we can write how the story ends. And I don't mean that in like a nefarious way, but like, you know, I do get calls from time to time. I wish they were more like, hey, we're having this issue with this employee. They presented a doctor's note. Do we have to give them time off? Do we have to buy this monitor for them? Do we have to get a standing desk because the doctor says they need it? Instead of they take action and they think they're doing what's right. Because I do say again, if you end up doing what's fair, it's right. But there's a lot of counterintuitive things in my area of the law.
Sure.
And so you want to get an advisor to assist you in that process before it gets too far. So you can try to end up doing what's right.
Yeah.
But it unfortunately doesn't work that way a lot of times.
Yeah. And so it's nice. So like if someone they reach out to you, they're able to get a quick email or whatever. You send a bill because you bill for partial hours. It's not like you're billing the full hour and stuff.
Correct.
So, I mean, I think that's just a nice way to operate as an employer.